Hello friends, welcome back. Hopefully, AirPods are hooked up, so hopefully you can hear me okay. As you jump on, if you'll give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that you're here and that you can hear me okay, that would be awesome. This is part 2 of our product review, walking through the new September to December mini catalog and the online exclusives today. So in the first live stream, we talked about the quick and easy options, the choreographed opportunities you have for crafting, and now we're going to move into the more I don't even know what the term, there are all kinds of terms, there are all kinds of words in this catalog for me to use, but they're all running away from me right now. But this is where all the pieces are available and you get to design and create, to your heart's content. Not that you can't do that with the kits. I think that's where I get so tumbled up, because you can take wherever you start with whatever products you start, and you can case, you can copy the designs in the catalog, you can copy the designs that you see online, all kinds of opportunities to even grab the measurements, to participate in classes and have those card kits made up for you to stamp and assemble. Or you can just pick up with, here's your paper, here's your stamps, here's your ink, dyes, ribbon, and go for it. There's so much coordination with all of the Stampin' Up! Products that truly your imagination is the only limit you have on how creative you want to be. So for me, I have all kinds of ideas, a little less time to do the implementing, and even less, it seems, recently. It's been a really busy time, busy summer in our house. We had college tour trips, I had traveling for work, we've had lots of work implementation, system implementations that we've had going on. So so much has happened and been going on that it feels like just a whirlwind. And today is such a busy day, right? It's college game day. And let's see, my granddaughter right now is cheering at a football game. She's a little cheerleader this fall. Although we call it fall, it's nowhere near fall right now. Hattie just texted and said she can't find her umbrella. She's sitting in the sun and it's blazing hot. The guys are outside working on cars. Marshall's putting in a new clutch in his car, and Greg and Hardin are working on the rebuild of the Triumph. So everybody is kind of par for the course, right? Running around. And as I mentioned in the first video, the number one rule of a live stream is that as soon as you start talking, your nose either has to start running, or you get a tickle in your throat, or sometimes all of the above. And so now it's my nose's turn, so time out for a second. Hopefully I was off camera for that, and it didn't make some horrible sound in your ear. And what is going on here? We're just going to have to leave it alone. Take the camera off myself for just a minute. But before I do, I'm going to just talk about a couple of the posts that have just made. I love that you all are jumping in and interacting, sharing some great ideas. That's, we're not face-to-face right now, and that's unfortunate. But the sharing that's happening in the group right now and on the posts, that's so valuable, because you just never know who's going to have the idea that just sets you on fire, connects all the dots for you. And so I love that you're sharing ideas about the new packaging and how you're going to organize. That's really what I was hoping to do. I know Lou and I have talked about this a bit. My friends, the Babs, have been talking about this a bit, and there's a lot of chatter on Facebook about it. We don't know quite yet. We've got the dimensions of this new packaging, but I need to have it in my hand in order to see how it's going to go. Now, I'm happy to share some photos in a bit of kind of how my room is currently laid out, in case you haven't seen it. It needs to have a big blow up and clean up, but like over there, I have 2, 4, 5 like vertical DVD holders. Each one has 4 sections to it, and they hold 8 stamp sets apiece. Typically, that is where all of my current stamps are housed. With the new packaging, that's DVD sized height. So that's not going to work in the new. Now I could turn them sideways, right, and lay them in, but I think that they might fall out because the length, the height turned sideways, they'd be off balance and they would just fall out. So I don't know that that is going to work for current products going forward in November. I have a bookshelf over there that is, it's narrow, right, and it has what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves, cubbies if you will, almost, and they are tall enough to accommodate, you know, those standing up, and they would hold a ton of this new packaging. So it could be that this becomes, and traditionally that is where my retired stamps that I've saved for my personal use live. So it could be that that gets flipped in the new arrangement. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm very excited to hear your ideas. And then I have, of course, this big wall over here of 12 plus inch cubbies that are mostly filled with bins, you know, things to dump in. And then of course this beautiful piece behind me, this is 90 drawers. They are 7.5 inches wide, 10.5 inches deep, and then what, 3 or 4 inches, 3 inches so tall. This came out of Genesco. If you are local and you're familiar with Genesco, this was where all of the soles and the heels and all the components of the shoes lived. It's a beautiful, I'm so blessed to have that piece. Thank you, Sybil and Jay, every single day for that piece of organization. It has, I don't know, sometimes I do a little quiz about, you know, what do you think I have back here? And my friend Jay that gave it to me, his dad worked for Genesco. He imagined that I was going to have this Excel spreadsheet and label everything, and never quite got that far, but you know, the best intentions, right? So anyway, so one post that was just shared was about the new packaging and what's happening there. Another post was about the opt-in, right? I mentioned in the first live stream that with this new catalog, there had been changes to the website, and the way I was able to choose customers to share catalogs with, they had to actually be opted in for that communication. And I don't know that that was really obvious as customers place their orders, so you may have missed out on getting a catalog. If you're close enough and you can run by and get one, please run by and get one. If you're long distance, I can try and get one in the mail. It's not my strength. It's just not my strength. But I can make a solid effort in this next week to do that. I have a pile of mail over there that really needs to get caught up. So I promise to make the effort. Plan C. See, and here goes my throat. Plan C would be that as you place your order, add the catalog to your order. It's a $2 expense, and I will add $2 in Stampin' Rewards to reimburse you. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. If I'm your demonstrator, if you place that order with me, then I will reimburse you for that. Okay, yeah, enough housekeeping. There's a new puzzle that's going to post in a few minutes, so let's stop this chatter and talk about the catalog itself. So we're actually picking up here with the suites, right? Creativity your way. Now, this section is made up of the suites, the bundles, scrapbooking from scratch, and the stamps that are not part of a bundle, right? We are going to go here with the suite collection. Bundles we'll pick up in, oh my gosh, which one are you? Bundles, where did you go? At 3 o'clock, we'll pick up bundles and stamps, and scrapbooking is on at 1 o'clock. So we'll pick up the part that's in this section, and we're going to go back and pick up what was in the earlier section as well. So here's your little QR code that will assist you in gathering additional information. Remember, I showed you how to use your camera and jump to that information, jump to that link. The very first suite that we have is called Traditions of Christmas. Now remember that one card that I showed you here, that is using the Traditions of Christmas. So they've stamped a background image, they've done some die cutting, they've used some really cool, I'm going to say that that's using the glimmer paper. I could be wrong, but I didn't check the recipe. Did you know there are card recipes? If not, I need to educate you about that too. But Traditions of Christmas, and it is just what it says, right? Traditional colors, traditional greetings, traditional images, yeah, all of the traditions, right? Some of my favorite colors live in this suite. It's got a little bling to it, so super exciting. Some of the colors you're going to see in this suite featured are Cherry Cobbler, Real Red, Old Olive, Pool Party, Secret Sea. Okay, that's one of our new in colors. It's this really rich, deep color. It looks blue, it looks black, it looks green. It covers all the bases. And gold. There's some gold foil in this suite that you're not going to want to miss. So it's what I think of as a mega suite. I don't know. My camera is wonky. That's a little better, I think. So it's what I call a mega suite. It has 2 bundles with it, right? An embossing folder, gems, ribbon, and this beautiful designer series paper. Now I happen to have all of this suite and more. Okay, so I'll come back to the and more in a bit, and I'll tie that back in with this. But right now, the suite itself is more than enough. Look at how me being all clever, right? So the first bundle is this traditional labels, and since I have the stamp set here, I'm not going to zoom in any farther. Look, I love this beautiful font, all the traditional greetings, images shown at 95%, and we've talked about that a lot in previous lives. That means that the actual image is just a little bit larger than what you see on the front. Now, so I'm going to borrow this for just a second. This is a label that was punched, right? And if I wanted to know if this greeting was going to fit on my label, I could take either the positive image or what I punched out and the negative to see if it was going to fit, right? And it probably is, but actually I think it's better if I show you from the negative side. So give me a second to grab, if I'm very clever, I can grab that very punch. I don't know if I did. Well, maybe I did. Look at that. Points for that, right? Now I need a scrap of cardstock. Looks good. So these are really cool. This is a good idea when you have labels, label dies, label punches, to actually keep them like this. You punch a hole, put this on a ring, so that you can do what I'm about to show you. So I've now got the image, I've got this label punched out. So if I want to know if this is going to fit on this label, it's pretty easy just to do like this. Well, in this case it's 95%, so I don't know exactly. I would need to come in here. And 95, that's not much difference. It's probably pretty close. And actually, when you're here, you know, you don't have to be an expert at math to see you've got plenty of room to make up the difference. Merry Christmas is actually 2 stamps, so it's not a good judge here to see if it's going to fit or not. But you could come here and see Christmas is the bigger part, and it's going to be a tight squeeze in this particular label. But so I'm running all over the place. Look at these beautiful label dies, right? I love a label die, and these do not disappoint. So here you can see all of the things that are going to cut out, and what You might be able to tell from here. I don't know if you can tell from here. Yeah, you can see that there are actually what I'll call multiple tracks. So what is going to actually cut out, there's kind of going to be a, it's kind of like an outer edge and an inner edge all at the same time. So this is going to be kind of delicate, easy to separate. You know, the idea is that there'll be some light shining behind it, but you could also take out that outer ring when you are working with these. So you have, what, 3, 6, 7. Look at this beautiful banner. Love a banner. And then all of the images that are, so I'm going to turn it this way, even though I didn't have to, and say, okay, so here's sending. Actually, this would go this way. So sending, cheer is meant to come down at the bottom. Wishes to you, happy and merry are angled to go this way. And bright, so many combinations here, very, I'm going to say it, traditional, right? And that nose running again. So that's the stamp set and dies. Now, I don't always store them like this. In fact, typically I would not keep this label set of dies with my stamp set because I don't want to think of them as exclusive to each other, right? I want to be able to see that I'm creating a card. I know I've got this beautiful label die here. So sometimes I need that visual to help me see outside of the box, but I put them in here for today. So that's where they are. My current storage organization is to tell me that I put a label that says SD25, lets me know it's from the September to December 25 mini catalog, and then has dies to go along with it. That way, if the stamp set is stored on its own and the dies are with my dies and my die cutting machine, then I know that there is some coordination that I should go look for. So that is the traditional labels. That is one stamp set in this suite. The other bundle is this beautiful Christmas greenery. And we're going to take a look at lots of samples made from this. As you can see, we've got a little bit of two-step stamping going on here, in that here's all of our detail, and then we have a more solid image to do the filler color. We'll look at those. We also have like the detail of the bow and then the solid image of the bow as well. Anytime you have a detail stamp and then a filler, right? It's not really solid, but a filler, then that is a two-step stamping. Now that doesn't mean you can't color these by some other method. You certainly can, and we're going to see some examples of that too. But these are photopolymer stamps with your greenery images, and these are shown. Okay, I don't have my glasses, so it's not at 100%. Let's just leave it at that, okay? I wore my contacts today. Then we also have this beautiful embossing folder, this traditional wreath. And it's a thick 3D. It's going to give you a gorgeous image. I love that, so it's square. The image is a circle, but you can get all of this texture from the wreath in a card, but not make it look, doesn't have to be a wreath. Just put something here. Just use a part of this. Lots of different options for doing it. For using this, you can see the impression here. That might be easier than what I've got. I did not save the image that came with that. Well, I do save it, but it's already filed away because I am that organized. But it's a beautiful, beautiful wreath. All kinds of tradition here, right? All right, then these little, where'd my gems go? Here's the blingy part for these fun little discs. So 3 different sizes, and you've got the gold, the pool party, Do they call this a color, or is it just green? Sparkling green. Old olive and real red. So they're flat, but they got lots of bling, lots of glimmer to them, but not flaking off. And you see the same thing on our glimmer paper. You get all the bling without the mess. So I love working with these. We had something really similar a few catalogs ago, which, you know, I probably have a pack or two hoarded in the cabinet behind me because that's the way I roll. My favorite embellishments don't go away. I continue to use them, hoard them. But I love the flat ones because I feel like my card isn't going to get torn up in the mail. It has to make it in the mail to get torn up, but you know, it is a consideration. Oh, I didn't show you the dies that went along with the Christmas greenery. So here they are. So you've got some detail pieces, some outline pieces. Here's the holly that they used on that card in the front, and I love that you've got two pieces of it. You can cut around some of the images. Here's some of the holly berries. This gorgeous thing, greenery here, and then here. These are one of my favorite things to do with cards, even though they're a little fussy. Be sure and know that you're working with the detail. So I would work with this on my mini cutting emboss machine a lot because it's narrow, but a lot of times when I'm cutting with my cut and emboss machine, I'm using the gray plate and my two clears, and you can see I do this a lot. You're going to want to use the thicker number 1 for sure with these detailed. The outline, these 3, you could probably get away with the gray plate, but for the sky, definitely going to use the white one. So, okay, so that is the greenery and the wreath and the gems, the ribbon, and then the designer series paper. So this ribbon has some shimmer to it, right? And if you're a part of my team, then my swap card, I use this ribbon. I actually cut it in half. So it's not a real soft ribbon, even though it looks really soft. It has a little stiffness to it. Not difficult to tie a bow at all. And it's not going to add a tremendous amount of bulk. Of course, when you tie a bow, if you want the shimmer side up on both, then you got to get a little, you know, watch how you tie your bow so that you manage to do that. It's probably not my strength, but you can make 2 rabbit ears and accomplish this. Something I have to think of when I'm tying these bows. But that way you get a bow with shiny sides up, and then you can probably manipulate. Well, actually, that turned out to be shiny side too. Oh, so not too hard to make a bow. I did, like I said, I cut mine in half, my ribbon in half. I did have some fraying, and I was worried about that as I was making my swap card, but it did not continue to fray at some horrible rate, so I think it turned out okay. I'm going to show you my swap card, but I'm not going to show you anybody else's. We'll share all of them at the team meeting on Tuesday night, and then I can share photos of the other cards that I received. But we love to do that as a team, each new catalog. And I made 8 of these, 1 for each person that participated, and then we swap them up so everybody has 1 of each. All right, so the designer series paper. Okay, so this is a 12 by 12 pack of paper, and you get 2 each of 6 designs, double-sided. It is gorgeous paper. This pattern is one of my favorites. Let's start with the gold side. And they didn't mention what color pink that they've used in this, but there are some pink poinsettias. So we've got some of that consistently used. If it's not specified which pink, you could probably use either Pretty in Pink or Bubble Bath. Just figure out which one that you like best with it. But these are gorgeous, and I wonder, I don't think that these are going to be cut out with either of our dies. You can certainly fussy cut them. But that's the A side. And then the B side is the Secret C pattern. These are great for breaking up the busy patterns or using like on masculine cards. Now this one may actually cut with one of our dies. No, I don't think it's going to. Oh, actually, if you use the right one, it might. Yeah, that one is going to cut out this, so you can cut out these beautiful images and add some gold foil to your cards. The back side of this has got this beautiful old olive pattern. So these type of patterns are great for your masculine cards too, or not just, but like this one, maybe. Take two, right? Let's see if this works. Flip it around where it has the greatest chance. Yep, and this page will cut out with the other. So, and this is just beautiful. Another Secret C pattern on this side. A little bit tighter pattern here, but a lot of pink, right? It's beautiful with some cherry cobbler and real red dots. I don't know if you can see, yeah. And then this is just yummy. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful cherry cobbler and real red gold. It's so rich looking. Oh, wow. And then a plaid pattern on the back of this. My grandfather had plaid wallpaper on his ceiling when I was growing up. Multicolor, but that reminded me of that. Just took me back to my childhood just like that. Then we have some white, and then this favorite plaid on the back of this. So you're seeing this color combination on quite a few. We saw that in the Memories and More pack. We saw it with the tags and something 6x6 pack of paper that we looked at in the last live stream. So beautiful, sweet, keeping traditions. And I'm going to walk through some of the catalog pages now and show you some of the projects, and we'll talk about how what technique that they use perhaps. Let's scoot over. We'll just take this one page at a time so that we can kind of zoom in a little bit. The suite has a single number ordering, right? You can order one of everything in the suite by using this item number, would be this price, $138.75, or you can order each of the pieces individually. The bundles, if you order the bundle, so this price doesn't save you anything other than the 10% you're saving on the bundles, right? There's no additional savings, it's just a keystroke saving. The bundles can be broken apart. You can get the stamp set, the dies, the stamp set, and the dies, or you can save 10% by ordering it as a bundle. Then here are some more of the samples. Here's where they've done that wreath to form an embossed background. You'd never know that that was the wreath. You know, it's covering, the center is just covered by the focal point. And look at all the tips that you've got going along here. So it talks about coloring, different opportunities for coloring. And I've got a couple of things here to show you. They've used that DSP as a background layer. These beautiful blingy discs. Cut that label out of real red and then heat embossed in white to add the sending love. And this one heat embossed in gold. When you heat emboss, you stamp in a Versamark ink, and then you have a powder that you sprinkle over top, and then you heat set that powder. It melts. It's so much fun. It's magic. Then this card, actually this is a larger card, I would guess, could be part of a scrapbook page. So they've embossed the wreath, and then they've watercolored it. And lots of different ways to watercolor, right? We've shown you the watercolor pencils that you can blend with a water painter, or you can use a blender pen. You can add ink, pick up ink from your ink pad. Some people squeeze their pad together like this. This is not my strength. In fact, I bet I didn't get a darn thing on there. Oh, I did. I got a little bit. Okay, so you can add some water in here, pick it up. I typically pick up ink on a block and then add water to that to do so. The blender pens come in a set of 3. These basics that I'm showing you are in the annual catalog, which is a printed catalog, or you can shop online in the store for all of these products as well. So the blender pens are like markers with no ink, right? And they're super fun to use with picking up ink, blending from your watercolor pencils. You have a lot of different ways that you can use them. Each pen has 2 ends. They're exactly the same. And then when you're done, you just run out the color on your scratch paper and you're ready to move on to the next color. You don't need to have one of these for every color ink that you have. You can use it over and over and over again. Speaking of markers, the Stampin' Write markers, our traditional water-based. This is the same ink that we have in our ink pads in a marker format. These have all moved to the last chance list. We're no longer going to carry these in future publications. There is a brush tip, as well as a blunt tip, available in all 50 colors. And if you are interested in these, then don't wait. Order them now. They are while supplies last. Once we introduced alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends, the sale of the Stampin' Write markers dramatically declined. But you can ink up your stamp with your Stampin' Write marker. You cannot do that with an alcohol blend. They certainly have a place in our coloring, but they serve a very different purpose than the alcohol blend. So that's this page. Oh, I didn't show you. So they've actually used a water painter, not a blender pen, on this. Water painters come as a set of 3. These are not seen in the catalogs. However, you can search for water painter and these will pop up. You put water in the barrel here. You have 3 tips. This is a more fine tip. Then there's one that's a little broad, and then the granddaddy brush of all for like a watercolor wash. Okay, we have a few more. So here you can see they've die cut the images. If I had just paid attention, turned the page a little sooner, I would have seen that, yes, absolutely, Michelle, you can die cut the images from the paper. Look at the little fun, it's not really, I mean, it could be, it is a tag in a sense. Yes, just for you. I'm gonna flip it over, but they added to their tag by using those greenery die cuts as well, and then created a little box to store them in. Very clever. And you know, all the labels that they've cut in the different colors. That's very clever. I think that this keeping tradition has a lot of opportunities for crafting in cards and in tags and in scrapbooking that we're going to see in just a little bit. Okay, moving on. Let's see if I can move my notes. So this North Pole delivery on page 28 of the catalog is adorable, but I didn't purchase it. Have not purchased it. I do have one piece from this suite. Let me move some of this stuff around, give myself some more room. It is absolutely adorable. has, so we've got these adorable little images. I'll just zoom in on them. So we have a sweet little cat with some antlers. We've got a dog, a bear. I'm going to say that's another dog. I could be wrong. Super, super cute. They've colored them. They've used the images from the paper, or the paper actually comes with 2 sheets of pre-cut, more like die cuts. I actually thought, oh, here's a QR code. Oh my gosh, now I'm too far zoomed in. Sorry, guys. Can't take me anywhere. Let's talk about the colors for a second. So Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, Garden Green, Pool Party, Pecan Pie, and Berry Vanilla. Love that combination. There is this adorable box here that you're going to see. They've made it here. This is not, if you make it as a box, right, with 3D, it's not quite big enough for a gift card. However, lots of demonstrators have shared how we're making that making it flat or nearly flat, so that we can use it as a gift card holder as well. So some great ideas with that adorable box. Look at the boxes that they've made with the designer series paper. The ribbon here, and it's actually called Fluffy Trim. It's thick, guys, so this is probably not something that you're going to really use on a card tying a bow. Great for packaging. It will even curl a little bit, right? Like curling ribbon. Not that you have to do anything special to it, but it has some stretch to it that will just be really conducive to that. So I see that in gift packaging would make an adorable bow around, around the little box. Fun. I love these little images in the cars. The little storefront. It's an adorable suite. And the only piece that I have purchased is the dots. Love this style of dots. They're matte and they're flat. So Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Garden Green in the dots. 2 sizes of each color, I'm gonna say, and yeah, I love that, and I love, again, the coordination of colors, right? These are not just Christmas, they're not just the Christmas or holiday season. These colors are used in other designer series papers, other cards that you're making. So even though I only bought this, doesn't mean I'm not going to use them in a different way. I absolutely am, because I may not buy the rest of the suite. I'm being kind of picky about that. Although I freely admit I love the projects that they have made with these. This card, I think, is just adorable. My aunt and uncle used to have a store on the square of their town, and every time I see something like this, I think of them, even though I don't necessarily associate the animals with them. This building I could certainly use on a card, and they would absolutely get it immediately. Understand it, not get it, because it has to go in the mail and it has to travel. Cute little crocheting. Yeah, I'm trying to crochet. That's not part of the Stampin' Up! lineup. It's just for the photographs. But adorable. This twine was introduced in the fall catalog last year, still available. I don't know if it's in the annual catalog or if you'll find it online. I don't see a note about it, so we're just going to flip to the embellishments and ribbon. Where are you? 124. And see if it's here. Here, it's this real red and white baker's twine for $5. So, annual catalog. Or you'll find it online if you search for that twine as well. Okay, the next suite. Now, you're going to think I don't have any of this suite. I do. But it's not part of this video. This peaceful garden has been extremely popular. This was available as a pre-order for us for Creativity Not Now, which was an event that was held a few months ago. And several of my swap cards are actually from my team are using this suite, and it's stunning. Lots of blues. The colors are Cloud Cover, Misty Moonlight, Secret Sea, Pecan Pie, Crumb Cake, and Basic Beige. So I do not have the designer series paper here in this section. We'll have an opportunity to look at that in just a little bit. But I do have I do not have the bundle, and nor do I have this embossing folder, which is beautiful. But again, like that wreath, you could use this and just put something in the center and get the texture available in the outside of it. But I'm talking too much. I'm never going to make it through. What I do have is this beautiful ribbon. This is Misty Moonlight with a silver edge. It's kind of a loop edge. So when you tie a bow with this, it's shimmer on both sides, but the little loops make it want to catch on itself. But it makes a beautiful bow. It's not quite flat, but I would use this on my cards, and I will use it in my gift packaging in all the areas. I'll also use what I do have in this glimmer paper. So this package of glimmer paper has, where are you? 6 sheets, 2 12 by 12 sheets of each of the colors. And the colors are blue, dark gray, and light green. Now, I would have said this is silver, seafoam, and it's a bright blue, but I think you could use them in all things. And remember, the glimmer has some texture to it, but it's not glitter paper. It's not coming off in your hands. It's a beautiful, stunning accent. And there it looks very silver, but you can see that it has more color to it when you're face to face with it. So $10.50 for these 6 sheets of glimmer paper. It's gorgeous. When I'm able to share my swap cards with it, you're going to see them in action, and I'll be able to hear the oohs and ahs. Oh, Jacqueline likes the teddy bears. Oh, that's very cool. They're super cute, Becky, without a doubt. I can't wait to see what you and Jacqueline make with them. The embellishments here are let's see, white, Cloud Cover, Misty Moonlight, and Secret Sea. And remember, Cloud Cover is one of our new in colors, as is Secret Sea. Secret Sea is this really deep color. Cloud Cover is this more of a bluey gray. We don't have a traditional ink pad for Cloud Cover because of a chemical reaction with the foam pad and the ink. So the ink is available as an ink refill. The blank ink spots, the uninked ink spots, I think come in a package of maybe 5. And so we're recommending that you purchase the ink refill and an ink spot to create your ink pad for using Cloud Cover. It's a beautiful color, don't go without, but it is a little different. That we didn't find that quality issue until very late in the ball game, and they tried and had no luck, did not meet quality standards. All kinds of projects available with this. You can see the embossing, the designer series paper for this layer here. It's beautiful. That designer series, that embossing folder is a Peaceful Greenery 3D embossing folder, so it's going to give you a very deep impression. A couple of label dies with this, as well as the doves and some greenery and stars. Many project ideas. This is one of my very favorite sketches, if you will, recipes to follow. It's got a piece of that glimmer paper behind the designer series paper. That's just beautiful. We've made some home decor items. The mouse in my pocket, me, no, Stampin' Up. Look at this beautiful framed piece. Wouldn't that be a beautiful hostess gift this holiday season? Wrap some candles in that one. I love that this is tilted so that you can see all the dimension here. All kinds of goodness. The Light and Wonder Suite, Lights of Aurora Suite. I do not have any of this yet. I have ordered the dots and the ribbon. Don't have them yet. I will say that these dots are raised, right? So that's not typically something I would use in my card making or card nailing because of that raised, but that iridescent, that calls to me. This paper is absolutely stunning, but as I'm looking for how I'm gonna budget my stamping dollars, this is not something that I had to have immediately. That doesn't say somebody's not going to change my mind. It happens every single day. This ribbon will be here on Thursday, this balmy blue sheer ribbon. I think that's going to be beautiful. And look at it here on this package. Like I said, the tags and such that I make, I will definitely use this quite a bit. I love the dies, these scenic backgrounds. I think that's gorgeous. So parts of the next suite, parts of the next suite, the Autumn Toile, are on their way. But let's go through it since we'll be finished with our catalog launch before they arrive. But the Autumn Toile, the colors here: Cajun Craze, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, Early Espresso, Berry Vanilla, and Gray Granite. You've got a QR code down here in the corner to take you to some additional information. In it again is another mega suite with two bundles, right? Amber Autumn and Autumn Trees. There is a metallic specialty paper, 3 sheets of this brown metallic. These gems on their way, but not here. And then this gorgeous trim. Okay, we're not going to call this a ribbon, but you're familiar with the mesh. In fact, I walked over to my closet to get my mesh out, and it is on the last chance list now. Let me make sure that this is my last. It is. Let me see how easy that is to grab, because I think that this trim is going to be pretty amazing for many uses. So I have hoarded the silver, although I might have finally used up all my silver, but I certainly hoarded it. And then the gold came out, and now this vanilla doesn't have the metallic look of this, but it has this real open weave, so it's far more than ribbon. I love our trims. I love using them. I use them on masculine cards. I'm not afraid of that. So I can't wait to get that. I ordered the Amber Autumn bundle. I love these images. The tree, I decided I could skip that, but I love this background die. I think this is just stunning. And then these images to color. Fall is not my favorite time of year, but I love fall cards. I think that they transition really well into masculine cards for some reason. That's the way I see it. This paper pack is a little different. It is 12 by 12 size, right? But it is, hold on. You get 3 each of the 4 designs, right? There's not 6 designs, there are 4, and you're going to get 3 each of them, and they're just Cajun Craze and the little fox. That's adorable. This beautiful pumpkin scene and the trees. So yeah, and the pheasants. Yeah, my other grandfather was a bird dog, raised and trained bird dogs and sold them. But here are some packages. Again, you have a single suite ordering, or you can order the bundles or the pieces all together. You can even break it down into the stamp sets and dies. So for me, I wanted everything except the one bundle. So I ordered my bundle, my DSP, my dots, my trim. Sorry, I skipped that. That's the metallic dust specialty paper and the DSP. So I just skipped out on ordering the autumn trees, and by doing that, that meant that I needed to order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of just the single one. Look at this project here. They've used that dye that's in the amber autumn to create that background, and here's some of that trim in use. It's just gorgeous. Color this with your blends or with your ink, however, whatever your coloring method of choice is, absolutely. In the craft along that we had for demonstrators a month or so ago, no, that long ago? No, within the last few weeks, we have a template for this one sheet wonder. So I know Cindy was saying in her last video, this might be something fun to do on a live stream. I am going to try to get my website up to date, and I have a new logo. I haven't even shared that, haven't even used it, but I do have a new logo that Hardin worked out for me. So this might be something fun to do, kind of a craft along and do a one sheet wonder. Lots of sample cards here, and then even here. And then look at this package that they've done with that trim, that gorgeous trim. So that is where we stop now. Let's talk about take a look at what's coming up in just a second. Not shocking, I've made a mess over here. I've hidden the things I need to try and get to. Okay, so we've got a puzzle that's going to post in just a few moments. It's a word scramble, so have fun with that. You can print it out if you want to print it and work on it, or if you want to just jot down the answers from what you pull up the file. If you want to jot down your answers and take a screenshot of that to let me know you've done it, that's for a door prize entry, so don't miss out. I'll be back at 1 o'clock, so in an hour, and we're going to go through the scrapbooking and coordination of products in that live stream. And during that live stream, what I'm showing you, the coordination, is going to post. I did that last catalog and last launch party. It was well received. I thought you all liked that, seeing those pieces together, because they're not organized that way in the catalog. So I did that again. That's going to post. And then there's another game at 2 o'clock. So I'll turn you loose. I'll say goodnight. See, words get really hard. I'll say goodbye for now. I'll see you in an hour. Thanks so much for participating. I hope you're having a great day. If you've got the college game on the screen, I'm not offended. These videos are going to be here on YouTube for whenever you can watch them. You're just going to want to watch them soon so that you can take advantage of the ordering special if you're interested. That has a deadline of Tuesday, as does the commenting on any of the door prize posts. So I'll see you in an hour. Grab some food, grab a drink. I'll see you then. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.